Absolutely.
Yep. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second day of Profile Building Fair. I hope you had a great session yesterday. I think you got a lot of takeaways from yesterday's Profile Building Fair, and we have a lot of interesting sessions coming up. And I request you all to join all the sessions. It's going to be fun and entertaining. Now we have Abhinav sir with us from Saturn Paper. I would like to say that Abhinav sir is India's top SAT preparation guru and is a founder of Saturn Paper. In this session, you will be able to learn about the importance of standardized testing for your college applications. And before we move on to the session, let me give you a quick intro of Abhinav sir. Saturn Paper has been promoted by Abhinav and Monica, both entrepreneurs with over 20 years of experience. Over these years, they too have promoted multiple successful educational initiatives and personally trained over 25,000 students. The curriculum for the project is crafted to perfection personally by the duo, Abhinav and Monica. In mere 4 years, Saturn Paper has emerged as largest one-on-one online test preparation company in India. Today, Saturn Paper boasts of 30 strong tutors team spread across the length and breadth of the nation. The tutors have immense experience and competence in their respective domains and are all personally selected and trained by Abhinav and Monica. Over the last 4 years, Saturn Paper has trained over 500 students representing 26 different countries from Japan and Singapore in the east to California and Mexico in the west. Before we begin with the session, I have a few reminders for all the students. That is, the section and all the upcoming sessions will be recorded and it will be uploaded on YouTube as a part of the profile building playlist. There will be a live Q&A session towards the end of the webinar with Abhinav sir. You can share all your doubts and queries regarding standardized tests and the importance of testing with him. We'll take up as many questions as possible. Welcome, Abhinav sir, to next series webinar series.
Thank you.
And it's over to you now.
Thank you so much, Helen. So good to be back here at the Next Genius webinars after, I think, almost 4 months when we did the last series with Next Genius webinars. Always excited to be here. I've been given about 30 minutes, 27 now. So I'll try to be as brief, as crisp, and as much to the point as possible. I'll try to leave about 7, 8, 10 minutes for the Q&A session towards the end. So guys, if you have any questions, please don't wait. Please keep on posting them to the Q&A box. I'll try to take as many of them as possible. Well, I would want to, address two small issues before we get into knowing more about Saturn Paper. The first, you would have heard a lot of noise about this test optional or colleges not requiring the SAT or the ACT or something going test blind. So very important for us to understand what these things are. First, test optional is nothing new. It's been around for a very long time, right? Universities like NYU were test optional something like 15 years ago. Test optional says, if you have a score, you submit it to us, no problem. That's the way we like it. If you do not have a score, you can still submit your application, we'll still consider it, because we understand because of COVID or other reasons, you might not have been able to take a test. So it's completely a student's choice. It's a mutual win-win for the students and the colleges. Let's see, where did this test optional came into being from? So until 2020, before 2020, the number of colleges that was test optional were a handful. 2020, when COVID struck, the admission officers were in an absolute haze about the number of applications that they would project for their colleges. And they could predict a sharp dip in the number of applications because the students would not be able to take the test. Multiple test cancellations. May SAT was cancelled worldwide practically. So they came up with this, solution of test optional that will continue to accept your applications, even if you have not been able to take the SAT or the ACT. And one after the other, every single college was test optional in 2020 application. 2021 is a repeat of it. Why? Because when colleges went test optional, they went test optional thinking that they would minimize the reduction in applications. And they stuck a rich bounty. The applications across colleges increased on an average by 30 to 50%, which was an absolute, bonus for them. Such a bumper bonus for them. So in my opinion, the test optional thing is here to stay. But please understand, test optional does not mean that you'll apply into the college and get. It makes life all the more difficult for you. In COVID times where boards have canceled the exams, there is no reliable piece of data which is more reliable than your SAT or ACT score. You see, a 43 on 45 on the IB at school X and a 43 on 45 on the IB at school Y would mean two very different things. A 95% ICSE for an internal house examination could mean very different things for two students who are studying at different colleges. So SAT test has been taken under standard conditions. So this gives the admission officers, a lot of solace. There's a lot of reliability about this score. Another thing which has happened this year only is another phenomenon called test blind, which is University of California. They lost a major lawsuit and the courts ordered them to go test blind for the next 4 years. Now, test blind is different. Test blind means even if you submit the scores, they would not be able to look at it. They would look at your applications without the SAT score. But as of now, the only university which is test blind is University of California. Others are all test optional, which means if you have a score, you want to submit it, you submit it. So it's a win-win. Earlier if I did not have a good SAT score, there was no way I could apply. Now, what do? You prepare for the SAT, try your best to get a very good score. If you get a good score, nothing like it, submit it. If you do not get a good score, submit your application without the score. That would give you a better chance rather than submitting a suboptimal score. So I've seen because of this win-win, right? Everybody is winning. The colleges are winning, the students are winning. So nobody, I think, should have an objection to that. Yes, one university, Georgia Tech, has announced that for the application year 2022, it will no longer be test optional. They'll go back to the test compulsory mode. And as the COVID wave wanes off, we expect more and more universities or colleges to follow that trend. So we'll have then clearly two sets of colleges, one who are test mandatory and one who are test optional. Which of the ones are going to be test mandatory, which are the ones which are going to be test optional remains to be seen. So much about test optional and test blind. These are the buzzwords today. You need to know about that. Another major development which has happened over the past few months is that the SAT has scrapped the essay. There used to be an optional essay on the SAT, which is now no longer offered. So it is just 4 sections for each one of you. Running out of time, so I think I would switch the topics now to satin paper. Well, talking about myself, I've spent about 26 years into standardized test prep now. Last 26 years of my life, I've done nothing but test prep. And I worked in multiple domains of test prep, be it the Indian MBA entrances or the IITs or the medicals. I worked with younger kids. And the present vertical called satin paper, it was launched sometime in 2016 when me and my better half, Monica, we decided to train our daughter ourselves rather than entrusting her to a coaching class where we did not really find a lot of faith in, could not find many good options. So we said that we do it ourselves. And we put up a small batch, about 9 odd students. We worked with them for about 6 months. Thankfully, all of them got outstanding results. So our daughter, she got a 1580. She'll be graduating from the Colgate University next year that she attends with a full scholarship. So her counselors recommended that, why don't we do this professionally? And we decided to do it professionally. And starting with a 2-people team in 2016, which remained a 2-people team until about 4 years ago, till about August of 2017, where our first associate was acquired. From 2017 until date, in the last 4 years, we have now grown to a 70-people team. Working with Helen had a slightly older data with her, so I'll just correct you. We currently work with kids from 44 countries and some 60 cities in India. And we have some absolutely amazing results to our credit. So if I talk about 2020 itself, which has been a landmark year for us, 71 of our students scored a 1500 or higher on the SAT. including the only perfect score in India from Dhirubhai Ambani International School, Mumbai last December. That was the only perfect score in the last 4 years here. To 30 of my students getting a 34 or higher on the ACT, which again is a 99th percentile. You see, 1500 on the SAT represents a 99th percentile, which means 100 students, if they take this test, one of them is going to get a 1500 or higher statistically. So we had 101 such students with us last year, 71 for the SAT, including 1 perfect score, and 30 people for the ACT, including 7 perfect scores, all within 2020. What makes it happen? 2 things have remained, constant about our courses over these 5 years. One, we've always operated in the one-on-one environment. All courses with us are offered one-on-one, one tutor to one student. We do sincerely believe that SAT prep is not something which should ever be done in batches, right? Reason being, unlike your school education, which is completely rote, most of it, especially CBSE, ICSE is more rote than IGCSE or MYP, which is still rote. So what you see on the board is what you write on the notebook, in the book, same exams, no variety, nothing. SAT is completely application driven. So I've seen so often that 5 students taking the same test, getting the same question incorrect, might get it incorrect for 5 different reasons. So if we heard you in a batch and solve these questions for you, that I do not think is remedy enough. One has to look into what is your specific reason for getting a particular question incorrect. And that's where I think one-on-one works the best. Second, we have always remotely delivered our services. Even in 2016, when we just started, we were still working on Zoom only. So of course, with the COVID happening, the acceptability for online education has increased. But I do not find any logic, in my students traveling 45 minutes one way in cities like Delhi, Bangalore, Mumbai to just take a SAT prep class. Doesn't make sense. Their time can be better invested elsewhere. You see, the other advantage is we offer courses with tremendous flexibility. So if you want to do classes on different times of the day for different days of the week, that's always possible, and it could change on a week-to-week basis. All courses come with the complete study material support. It's absolute personalized one-on-one interaction. There's a dedicated WhatsApp group for each student that binds the student, the tutors, 3 of them or 4 of them, and the parents, a prep manager, an evaluator. All mock tests that we do for you are invigilated by us live online as you solve them, so as to ensure that you're not exceeding the time limit. And then there are comprehensive test reviews to figure out where the gaps are, what needs to be done to improve upon these. We do offer certain workshops and strategy lessons to you to max your scores. So it's pretty much well organized. A typical course duration for the SAT or the ACT is about 16 weeks, which is divided into 8 weeks of prep and 8 weeks of testing. Of course, this can be customized to suit your requirement. It can be stretched to maybe 5 months. It can also be compressed to about 3 months, maybe 2.5 months also at times if required. So when should you be taking the SAT? The ideal time to start prep is end of grade 10. And the first thing that you should do is identify which is the test that you're supposed to take, the SAT or the ACT. We, of course, offer free of cost diagnostic tests to any of you who are interested with us. So on my website, you'll see a contact us column. You can just go there and leave some information. Somebody from the office will call you back and they'll schedule 2 diagnostic tests, which is followed by a course presentation for which your parents need to be present, where through about 45 minutes to 1 hour, we take you through a tour of our programs, how they're structured, how they function. And then, of course, after that, you're absolutely on. What are the specific things you need to bear in mind, when you prepare for the SAT? Work as per a target date. So keep a target date. I've seen lots of students, they'll start their prep by solving mock papers and working backwards. Doesn't happen. Take some time off, work on the basics, work on the concepts. They'll really help you. Take all tests under simulated circumstances. For example, when you're taking a mock test, you should always be wearing a face mask. A lot of students commit this mistake. They take the mock papers without a face mask, and on the actual date, when you go to appear for the test, you'll have to wear a face mask, which is a huge distraction, right? The idea is to get used to that distraction right during your practice stages, right? What else? Set aside a very clear prep time and a very clear testing time. Second, whatever mock tests you're taking, make sure they're authentic SATs from the past. Do not use any mocks from private publishers like Barron's or Princeton Review or Kaplan. These are likely to be far off from what the actual test is. You may use the official guide. That's an excellent resource. The Khan Academy is a beautiful resource, though there's too little of it. And then, of course, there are courses from people like us to help you out always. So we do offer the ACT, the SAT, both of them, and we also offer prep for a few of the APs that will cover some other time on the profile building fair when we do a session for the APs. It's too much to be, compressed into 20 minutes. When should you be taking? Immediately at the end of your grade 10. You should start preparing and you should take the SAT early grade 11, right? Early grade 11 is when you should target doing the SAT. I'll very strongly recommend that you guys should visit our website. You'll also take a look at the kind of results that we have to offer. It's a very basic, very plain website. And in case you want to schedule diagnostic tests for yourselves, you can always leave your details over there and somebody from the office will get back to you. They'll talk to you and they'll organize the diagnostic tests. Once the diagnostics are done, then we'll schedule a course presentation for you. I think I'm done. Yes, somebody also talked about importance of the SAT exam. I think it has grown with the COVID times. It's more than what it was ever before, right? As I told you, this is one piece of data which no admission officer can ever contest, right? So I can contest your school exams, your school grades. I find it very difficult to equalize them. The way you write your essays, everybody knows you would have sought external help to write the essays. So that doesn't work as well at times. The SAT or ACT is again something you should decide on the basis of a diagnostic test, right? So again, if you can go to the Next Genius website and elsewhere, you'll find, one of my sessions I did the last year, which is about how to decide between the SAT and the ACT when you go about preparing. So you'll find almost a 40-minute talk over there, which distinguishes the two of them. Well, I think that's about what I had to say. I could not keep it more crisp than this. And let's see if we have any.
Thank you so much, Abhinav sir. Yeah, we have a few questions. We have got a question from a student. It is, which are the better books to prepare and the best books to prepare for practicing SAT and ACT?
Use the official guide. In addition, for the SAT, you may use Khan Academy.
All right. And how important is SAT scores when it comes to the admission processes?
I would say it has a weightage ranging anywhere from 30% to 50%, depending upon college to college. Different colleges would have different weightages, but yes, it's an extremely important component. Now in the admission process, one of them does not offset the other. So let's say you want to get into an Ivy League college, you need to have a very good academic record at school, and you need to have a very good SAT score. But if I have an excellent academic score, it doesn't mean that the requirement for school grades comes down. No, it doesn't. I still need to have done very well over there. So one of them does not offset the other.
Okay. We have another question, that whether the chances of getting into a college or university will be higher if they submit the SAT scores, or even if the college says.
Extremely so. Even if the college says the test optional. History has it, data has it, that even at test optional colleges, students with a score will have a huge advantage over the students who are without the score, right? Without the score. So, if you go back and take a look at the NYU admission data over the last few years, you'll be able to see that, again, the vast chunk of students who are getting in are the ones with a score. The ones without a score are a rank one.
Yep. Another question is, how much time should students dedicate to SAT preparation, especially when students are doing their A levels?
I've always maintained 150 hours of effort is enough. So see how many hours can you spend per week, divide that by 150 hours into that, and see how many weeks of prep time you require.
Okay, thank you. And another question is, if the preparation given by Vanessa and Monica ma'am, if it is free, and are there any opportunities for underprivileged?
It is not free. For underprivileged pupils, we'll be doing a scholarship test later next year.
Okay.
this year later, which was done in conjunction with the Next Genius webinars last year. So there's a chance for you to win up to 100% scholarship or a partial scholarship. Yes, the diagnostic tests are offered absolutely free of cost. We don't charge anything for that. It's only the courses that we charge for.
Okay. And there's another question that has come up, that is whether they have to take the test close to the admission dates or prior to.
No, as early as possible. It should ideally be taken in grade 11.
Right.
Grade 12, you'll all be busy with your applications.
All right. And how should students decide which subject SAT that they have to take?
Subject SATs are abolished now. They're no longer offered by the college.
Okay.
Right. So that test is finished now. You will not have it ever again. They have to take APs if they want to. And APs again, there's a separate module available on one of my previous shows at Next Genius. You can just go through that.
Right. Also, another question is whether SAT and ACT test scores are important when applying to colleges or universities in the UK.
Not in UK. The UK would not require it.
Only the US then.
US and some good liberal art colleges in India like Ashoka, Kreya, Flame, Shiv Nadar, Bennett, even Singapore would need it.
All right. You mentioned that you have given the importance of SAT and ACT in one of the videos that you have done with Next Genius.
There's one video with SAT versus ACT, one video about the importance of APs. All of them are very good resources for students to go through. And they're all available on YouTube as well as the Next Genius website.
Okay. And one student, Nihal, he has asked, he's in 9th grade right now, and is it helpful to take the PSAT?
Take it, no harm done. Don't prepare for it. Just go take it sitting down. It doesn't harm you. It doesn't help you. It doesn't harm you. Those scores are not reported anywhere. It will just expose you to the test pattern.
Okay. So there are a lot of questions coming up. We'll take one more question. That is the last one. What if the college requires only an ACT test? Will I get an advantage if I give them the SAT results as well?
No such college that requires only the ACT. It is always the ACT or the SAT and the student's choice. I have not seen any college across the globe that will accept one of these, will not accept the other one.
Okay. Yeah, one more repeated question, that is, how long are the SAT scores valid and what is the ideal time to give a SAT?
Scores are valid for 5 years. Take them early in grade 11. If that doesn't work for you, take them in grade 12.
All right. So thank you so much, Abhinav sir, for answering these many questions. We have a lot of questions coming up. So how can they approach?
We have 2-3 more minutes. If you want to take more, I can take more questions. No worries.
Okay. A student has asked whether he or she can prepare for SATs from grade 9 itself.
Not suggested. Focus on reading, focus on basic math, start prep after grade 10.
Okay. The next question is if SAT is only for US colleges and not for colleges in other countries.
It's required for US colleges, for colleges, some liberal arts colleges in India, and for Singapore. For Canada and US, you're not required.
Okay. And the question is AP required for IB students?
Watch my presentation on the APs, you'll get the answer.
Yep. Okay. Do you have any tips for students who want to get to universities in the UK?
Focus on your academic grades and take a few APs.
Okay. What is the outlook for SAT to be conducted in India for the rest of this calendar year, given test centers may be closed?
I think it will be conducted, save Mumbai, which may not do.
Okay. Yep. And the last question is, could you tell about some of the reliable resources for SAT and ACT preparation?
I just use the official guide in Khan Academy. That would be the best.
Okay. And students have asked if you could share the links. You talked about the mock test, right? That students could take. If you could share some links.
They can go to our website and they can fill in the contact us column. Somebody from my team will call them up and fix up the diagnostics for them. With us, everything is highly personalized, highly one-on-one. We don't do one size fits all.
Okay. Yep. We have almost covered all the questions. Any final piece of advice or comment you have for our students, sir?
Plan your prep well. That's the mistake I find most students making. They'll act in a hurry. They'll act in a hurly-burly. Doesn't help. And then they'll panic later. Plan. Give yourselves time and you'll do well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir,
Thank you so
for
much.
answering to almost all the questions and also sharing your advice and
you.
giving an overview of Saturday City Prep. Thanks a lot
Thank
for
you.
joining
My
us.
pleasure. Look forward to being here again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
great day. Yeah. Bye.